I'm in the 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser. This is the entry-level 1958. It's pretty stripped out, and it comes in around $55,000 before destination, before any add-ons, any of that stuff. Today I'm gonna tell you that it's a good buy in today's market. Special thanks to Jermaine Toyota of Naples supplying this beautiful 1958 Land Cruiser for us today, as well as my local distributor, Southeast Toyota. Without them, I wouldn't be able to bring you base Toyota model reviews. So very, very grateful. So let's get straight into this video. 1958 Land Cruiser. There are some differences up front. Like for example, based off of the original FJ40s that had the circular headlights, this has the circular headlights. If you get the standard Land Cruiser model, which is, I don't know, 5-6 grand more expensive than this, it has blockier headlights. So we have the circular headlights here, and unfortunately these are not paint finished. You know, I'm sure there's going to be aftermarket pieces that you can get this paint match to whatever color you have. And in 1958 in America, I believe it's just white, silver, and black are the three colors here. I love the looks of the Land Cruiser. I just wish those were a little bit more premium looking for such an expensive vehicle, but it still looks great from up front. Underneath, we have a little bit of a skid plate and some tow hooks under there actually as well. Coming around to the side of the vehicle, 18-inch wheels here. You can get this with larger size wheels. And remember, this shares the same J250 Prado platform as the Lexus GX 550, which has a twin turbo V6. This only comes with one powertrain, and I'm gonna go, let's just pop the hood. One powertrain, unlike the new 4Runner. 4Runner has a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. This has that, but it is hybridized only. All right, so there it is purring away. I'll have the AC running. Gigi's with us today reviewing the Land Cruiser. We have 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. Again, standard hybrid. That's why you see those orange high voltage cables here. 4x4. Full-time, unlike, think the Tacoma is obviously optional four-wheel drive, or should I say, yeah, it is optional four-wheel drive. This is standard four-wheel drive, and it's full-time four-wheel drive, like the Lexus GX, okay? There's a 4 high and a 4 low here. Center locking diff, rear locking diff is standard here on this 1958. Coming to the back, got this nice Land Cruiser badge, which is a glossy black compared to the matte black. Toyota badge here is matted out, unlike the higher level trims. And we do have the iForce Max and Beyond Zero logo here for Toyota. Parking sensors on the back, even though it's kind of a base model, a little recovery hook down there, spare tire. We have the lift glass here, which a lot of people are gonna appreciate. It's not the 4Runner with the roll down glass though. Let's lift this up, and this is not automated, okay? Which you can get this automated on higher trim levels. So we do have a little speaker back here. Land Cruiser rubber mat, and you can see this is where the battery is. All right, so I'm not going to go digging around here too much. There's not really any underfloor storage, doesn't look like here. This does come standard, the 2400 watt, so that's great for tailgating, powering an electric grill, or whatever you guys want to power with this household plug-in. Now you can see this is totally set up for 3 rows of seats like the Lexus GX. We even have handles up here for the passengers. We have vents back there for the passengers, except there's no 3rd row seats. We even have USB-Cs back here for the passengers and cup holders, okay? Unfortunately for our market, this does not come with a 3rd row, even though the Land Cruiser J250 Prado does come with a 3rd row in other markets. Lexus kind of holds that 3rd row SUV ground here in America, for better or for worse. So closing this down, let's go and get to the back row, say hi to Gigi girl. And pretty basic materials on the door, actually extremely basic. Like this is, guys, this is cheap materials on the door, unfortunately, for the Land Cruiser. However, even though these are cloth seats, I really enjoy them. Again, you can't have too many kids in here because we don't have that 3rd row. We have tri-zone climate control, so that's nice, a little Land Cruiser badge here on the top. We do have a 12 volt, and we do have USB-Cs, and I think you can get the optional in the upper trims, another household plug-in there for 120 volt setup. Mat pockets on each side. You need lots of mat pockets when you're traversing the world. And we don't have a sunroof in here, or a panel sunroof like you see in other trim levels of this, as well as the Lexus GX. Nice little dome light ahead. Vents above, which is great for the kids. Actually, I really appreciate that. Gigi was asking where they were. and they're above, just like our minivan. I like the handles that help you get in, and this is actually really hard for the kids to get in and out of. The door sill here is really, really high, like a pickup truck. And like the Lexus GX, for example, is gonna be better for families because it has standard running boards on the side. All right, let's go ahead and get into the front, and then we can start driving the new Land Cruiser. Oh, by the way, I do have smart access here, but not on the back door here on this 1958. I also have blind spot monitor, but I don't believe these are auto dimming side mirrors, which is a bit strange. All right. Also, I will be doing a fuel economy test on this week, so stay tuned for that. With this hybrid powertrain, what kind of fuel economy are we going to get is going to be a mystery until we actually test it. Even though this is the base model, we do have a leather wrapped steering wheel. I like this 7-inch screen. I'll probably talk more about it here in a little bit. This is an 8-inch touchscreen with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. I love the controls here. Materials are cheap, soft touch here. Again, hard touch, just like the back doors. I don't even have a soft armrest, and we'll talk about if that's comfortable enough while you're driving. It does have radar cruise control, lane keep, and we have more USB-Cs here, traditional shifter, auto brake hold, which I really appreciate, and then center differential, rear differential, 4 high, 4 low, felt lined storage container there, cup holders, and we do have standard heated seats and heated steering wheel in here on this base trim up. We do have a dimming rear view mirror there. We do have a vanity mirror with a light. Unfortunately, check this out, like this does not slide open, and I was getting blasted by the sun this morning because it was like in this area, the sun coming up, and this doesn't cover this big window, unfortunately. So with that being said, let's go and start driving the new Land Cruiser 1958. As I'm getting my camera set up here, you know, since it is a hybrid, sometimes the engine is just off when you're at a stop. But right now the battery is low because I'm running the AC, so the engine does turn on. And as a result, you do feel a little bit of rumble here from this 4-cylinder idling away. I wouldn't call it anywhere close to as smooth. I guess I can turn this camera on. I wouldn't call it anywhere close to as smooth as the old Land Cruiser with the V8, all right? And I wouldn't say it's as smooth even from an idling perspective as, let's say, the Lexus GX. However, the Lexus GX is always idling. That engine, that twin-turbo V6 is always on because it is not a hybrid, all right? So we'll talk about a lot this powertrain in this quick drive this morning. And I love the brakes here. Better than the old Land Cruiser with the V8. They feel a little bit more predictable. They feel more quality in my opinion. So I really, really enjoy the brake feel in here. Steering feels great as well, even though it's not hydraulic steering. It's maybe a little bit lighter than the old Land Cruiser V8s, but I really enjoy the steering here. All right, so I've been driving this in eco mode this week. And why have I been driving in eco mode? To me, this vehicle has a ton of torque, and so that gas pedal is really sensitive to that torque, even in normal mode, not even sport mode. And the transmission seems to be a little bit smoother in eco mode. This truck is just getting broken in, so I can't like really make a final verdict about the smoothness of this powertrain. I only have 71 miles on the odometer. I'm assuming it will get more smooth as we put more miles on this engine and transmission. But right out of the gate, as it climbs revs, it just doesn't feel super refined or smooth. Okay, there's some, I guess I'm wanting a little bit more refinement, because especially at the lower RPMs, let's say about 1500 to 2500 RPMs, you do feel some vibes coming through the floorboards, your pedals, the steering wheel, and that's even on the Lexus GX. So don't think that, hey, upgrading to the GX, you're going to have a better NVH experience. In fact, I would say it might even be better here than a very expensive Lexus GX with the 22-inch wheels or something. These 18-inch wheels, like the ride quality in here is fantastic. Of course, this has a 112.2-inch, legendary wheelbase for Land Cruisers. Is that golden ratio, as Toyota believes in. It is very smooth ride. kind of like the old Lexus GX with the V8. But I would say this actually rides better than a GX, even with the GX with the fancy suspension components on it. This to me, just with the big tires on here, they're all seasons, they're not all-terrain, which I know a lot of people who get the 1958, they want to modify it. But like the ride quality, it's just, I'm really, really happy with it. The brake quality, the handling, I just want the powertrain to be a little bit smoother. How can Toyota fix that? Well, honestly, I don't know what they can do to make this powertrain a little bit more smooth. Put my pedal down, good torque. It really didn't pick the right gear with this 8-speed auto. Maybe it's because I'm in, well, Gigi just said it was quick, but I'm wanting more. It just didn't feel like it picked the right gear there. I'll do it again, and it could be because I'm in eco mode, but it's still accelerating quite well. Fuel economy, it says I'm getting about 22 miles per gallon, which if I look at the window sticker, that's what it's supposed to be getting in town. But we'll fill it up at the end of this week after putting well over 100 miles on here. We'll fill it up and see what fuel economy we're going to get. So come back for that test on the Land Cruiser 1958. All right, so I mentioned the ride quality is fantastic. What about the noise coming through the cabin? Well, I do get a little bit of wind, which I'm expecting because the front windshield's almost vertical on this, which adds to the aesthetics of this truck. It's very quiet. I would say it's just as quiet as a Lexus GX. Even those have dual pane glass, and when you roll down the window in here, it gets loud, but like when that window's up, it does a really good job sealing you away from the environment. So I would say luxury grade quiet in here, luxury grade ride quality, but just not quite there with the refinement of the powertrain with this turbo 4-cylinder, even though it's hybridized. And in fact, I get the most enjoyment out of this powertrain when I'm either just coasting, so the engine's not working hard, or I'm coasting and I have enough battery charge where the engine just turns off. Right now the engine's off as I'm coming to a stop here as we're doing some regen. And man, it's buttery smooth when you're in full electric and that engine is not idling through the cabin. Now, why am I being so harsh on this engine? It's not terribly unrefined. It's not terribly vibey or anything like that, but this is a Land Cruiser, and I'm used to driving Land Cruisers with V8s that are extraordinarily refined and smooth and butter and crisp. If you drive the Lexus GX 460, for example, or the old Land Cruiser with the 5.7, just elite levels of powertrain refinement. So that's why I'm being pretty critical here, because I have such high standards driving other Land Cruiser variations throughout the years. But instead of getting 15 or 17 miles per gallon, I could be getting the low 20s, which is a trade-off. Not quite as smooth, but I am getting better fuel economy. But I feel like Toyota and Lexus, they could improve the refinement here by driving more in electric. And how can you drive more in electric? Well, I don't want a full-on battery electric Land Cruiser, but I would love to have a plug-in hybrid. Could you imagine the functionality you could get out of a plug-in hybrid for off-roading, for camping, having more torque available to you, drive more in electric mode, which is where this truck is most enjoyable if you're just driving in and around town. Okay, so enough with the powertrain. I could talk about it. I've talked about it enough. As we get into some of the features here, or the lack thereof, in this 1958, I like the 7-inch screen behind the steering wheel. It's easy to customize. It's easy to reset the trips. It's easy to get into different pieces of information compared to the 12-inch screen. 12-inch screen definitely has a wow factor to it. It's pretty, has cool animations, has lots of information that it can display at one time, but it's also a pain to work with. I just prefer this simple 7-inch screen here on this 1958. This 8-inch screen here, I don't mind. It looks a bit barren with these ridges on each side, but I kind of like small screens, and I'll show you why. Because I don't have to move my hand all over the place reaching across on a 12-inch screen. I kind of can just pivot all in one area and I can just rest my hand on top of these vents and get everywhere I need to go with this small screen. So it doesn't bother me that much. And I like the volume knob right here off the steering wheel. And again, this steering wheel is fantastic. The leather wrap, the stitching's really, really nice. I like how blocky and chunky it is. You also have your drive mode selects here, which if you press downhill assist control as well as crawl control, which I'm not going to do because I'm on pavement, this knob will go through different off-roading modes, stuff like that. I'd really appreciate the auto brake hold in here. It makes this truck feel a little bit more modern, and it's so torquey, right? It's nice to be able to bring this to a stop and just, you know, keep your foot off the brake. That's something with the old GX with the V8. That thing was always pulling hard just from idle, and so I never had auto brake hold on that I remember. So it's really nice to have that here on a modern Land Cruiser for sure. Comfort. Some people might poo-poo on these cloth seats. I love these cloth seats. They're never hot. Even in blazing hot Florida, these cloth seats, just, yeah, they're climate controlled themselves. And if you drive this in a cold climate, you have the heated seats here to warm you up, as well as the heated steering wheel. So I love these cloth seats. They're going to be durable. They're probably going to last longer than maybe I don't know about the Softex, but probably the leather on the, you know, the premium package that you can get them in. So I enjoy them quite a bit. And I like how they're black, right? Because they're going to hide dirt and dust quite well compared to, let's say, gray seats. And this is an off-road vehicle. You're going to be potentially off-roading in here. I know most moms and dads and grandpas who buy this truck are not going to be off-roading, but going down the road, let's say you're buying this as a used vehicle, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be interested in getting these cloth seats, which I find very, very comfortable. Some people are going to complain that they're not power. I mean, I get it. Once I got the seat set up for me, it's fine. If you have a spouse that's very different height than you, yeah, maybe you go get the fancier Land Cruiser model that has the power seats. For me, I mean, I kind of like how simple this truck is, and I guess maybe I can end this video here with the value proposition or whatever. The value is this a good value in today's market? Well, not really. The Lexus GX starts just it starts around $65,000. Your materials on that GX are night and day compared to this. Like, to me, it's a bit unacceptable that I don't have a soft armrest. So I don't even put my arm on the door anywhere because all the materials are rock hard. I keep my hand down here by my waist, or just like resting on my leg, and which is not bad to do because it's very trucky. My leg's kind of sitting up high here, you know. So that's my workaround. If I were to own this vehicle, I would find some cheap adhesive, soft pad to put on this door, and it's not that big of a deal. But when you're spending nearly $60,000 on a truck, it's a bit hard. It's a bit hard to accept, and it is physically a bit hard as well. But at least the center armrest here is nice and soft, where you're going to be resting your arm quite a bit. Now, back to the value. Yes, you can spend a little bit more money, get the Land Cruiser grade or the Lexus GX, which is going to offer a lot more nice touch points in the vehicle. Here's the thing. So we don't get the 70 series in America. The 70 series is legendary for being a bare bones work truck. They cost a lot of money, even though they don't have a lot of features in them. People buy them because, well, they're essentially indestructible. I'm not saying this truck is indestructible, but I feel like in a lot of ways, this feels more like a 70 series than a GX or the fancier Land Cruiser editions. And some people just, you know, they don't want to have to pay more to get all the stuff that they'll never use or not appreciate. And so this model is a bit strange for our market, but maybe this is the 70 series that we never got. And no, it's not a diesel, and no, it's not a manual, and no, it's a hybrid. Like, it's a completely different vehicle than a 70 series, but this is the closest thing we get, and some people might be drawn to it. It might be more easy to customize for off-road, for overlanding, that sort of thing. I totally get it. I still think this is, if you can get past like, hey, this is not a luxury, you're not buying a luxury vehicle on this 1958. You're buying the Land Cruiser nameplate. You're buying the looks on the outside, which is boxy Land Cruiser-ness, right? Which is kind of rare in today's market. Yes, there are Defenders everywhere where I live, and this kind of feels Defender-esque. The Defender, I would say, drives a little bit better than this. I personally am drawn to the Land Cruiser a little bit more, but that Defender is really, really nice as well. It also costs a heck of a lot more than this. So I think if you can get a Land Cruiser 1958 under 60K, it's not a terrible buy. Is it the best buy on the market? Absolutely not, but you got to do what makes you happy. I actually am really happy for the most part, other than, you know, the elite refinement of this powertrain. I'm very happy outside of that for driving this truck. It's pretty smooth, it rides well, it looks amazing, and it would be fun to modify this. If I got a fancier Land Cruiser, let's say with the launch edition or whatever it's called, or, you know, the standard Land Cruiser grade, I might be scared to modify that. This is kind of a blank canvas, which a lot of people are looking for when they're buying that Land Cruiser nameplate. Put some big tires, maybe put a lift on here, put on an aftermarket bumper. Maybe that's why this front bumper isn't painted, because people are going to modify that front bumper. I'm going to end it there. I'll see you guys in the comments. Do you think it's a good buy? Also, special thanks to Jermaine Toyota of Naples for reviewing, for lending this review sample for me for a week. They've been giving me the Corolla, the Camry hybrids, and they want to keep giving me some review samples for you guys that I typically cannot get through my press fleets, because those are all maxed out models. I love the idea of testing out base models. What kind of value are they? Should you be spending more money to get more features, that sort of thing? Yeah, you can do that in a Land Cruiser. Yes, you can do that and get a Lexus GX, but I feel like there's something special here in this bare bones 1958, and it does feel very Land Cruiser to me, despite it not having all the nice touch points and fancy gadgets and gizmos in here. I still feel like I'm in a Land Cruiser, and yeah, I really, the more I drive it, the more I really enjoy this truck. So I'll see you guys in the comments. Like I said, thank you guys. I gotta cut myself off, and have a great day, and make sure you stay tuned and therefore subscribe for my, I'll probably do a nighttime test on this truck, as well as a fuel economy test with the Land Cruiser 1958. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.